What you guys, got another video? Linux feels faster than Windows 11, but is it? That's what we're going to be taking a look at today. We've got a little Geekon mini PC here with 2 cores and 4 threads. And a lot of people always tell me that Linux is faster than Windows. And I had quite a few people say, why didn't I show a benchmark for Linux? So here you go. I'm going to show you a benchmark for Windows 11. And I'll show you a benchmark for Linux Mint. So you'll be able to see whether Linux is really faster than actual Windows 11. In my personal opinion, I don't think there's going to be much in it. I think a lot of it's a placebo in people's minds that Linux is way faster than Windows. And Linux is generally faster and more responsive than Windows 11, particularly on older hardware, and you would think it's going to be a lot more responsive on this 2-core 4-thread system. But this is a modern day system, so you can see here we've got Geekon A12 results here. Single core is 1320, the multi-core score is 1890 for this, and we've got an OpenCL score of 5677. Now, it's not easy to benchmark Linux the way it is Windows. You can just click on it, install it and run it. On Windows 11, on Linux, some software doesn't work, and also you've got to download it, extract it, then navigate to that location in the terminal, and then do a special command to run that application in a terminal window. You won't see no GUI interface running on there, and that's because it's Linux. But I'm going to go ahead and install Linux Mint on here. Now, this is not to trash Linux in any way. A lot of people are going to start doing all that rubbish in the comments section as always, and think I'm trying to bash Linux. I'm answering people's questions that they wanted to see a benchmark of Linux Mint against Windows 11. Now, I will be honest, the responsiveness of Windows against Linux is totally different. Windows 11 is a little bit more sluggish. In fact, it's quite a bit more sluggish compared to this silky smooth feeling that you get with Linux Mint. And this is due to the lower background overhead that Linux has compared to Windows 11 and its efficient file system and less bloatware. Now, this being Linux, it runs inside the terminal window. You don't get no GUI interface, but it has finished. I couldn't get the GPU results here, but you can see the single core was 1237 and the multi-core score was 1604. Now, this is only a basic test. We've run the same program on Windows and on Linux, and there's your results. I'm not going to spend hours upon hours of time trying to appease the gods and show Linux is faster, because I can already see by the results that it's not faster. It's in fact slower than what it was on Windows 11. Windows 11 is on the left, 1320 compared to 1237. Also, the multi-core score was 1890 compared to 1604 for Linux Mint. So Linux Mint gets the wooden spoon and Windows 11 gets the crown. But do I really care? No, I don't. Because they're both good operating systems and you can choose whatever one you like, whatever one works best for you. This is not a pissing contest which one's the best, like people keep making out in the comments section about, oh, Linux is this and Linux is that. It's just got beat by Windows 11. Windows 11 is a really good operating system, even with all that bloat in it, as people keep saying, and all of the telemetry and all of the utilization that's being used in the background on Windows 11, and all of the Copilot and AI that's been built into the operating system. And guess what? It still comes out in front of Linux Mint. What a shock. So it's not so much of an issue really to me, but some people always like to blow their trumpet about Linux being super fast. It's faster than Windows 11. It's better. And it's just not. You can see by the results right there. But I don't really care about it. I just wanted to prove a point to people just to show you how gullible people are about reading stuff online and believing all the hype they see online. And I could sit there doing a rendering test or some sort of other test on here, and it will be probably tit for tat for each of the operating systems. I'm not completely discarding Linux Mint as being the loser here all round, because it might win some rounds when it comes to some games, but Windows will win on some other games. This is what benchmarking is. If you play certain games on Windows, you're going to get better results. If you play certain games on Linux, you might get better results than you do on Windows. And of course, you'll get some joker in the comment section saying I'm trashing Linux and I'm just there to gloat because I put a cup on Windows and a wooden spoon on Linux Mint. Well, I'm just showing you the results and showing you exactly what they are. We've just done one benchmark here, but it's very hard to find benchmark software that works on Windows the same as it does on Linux, because Linux is pretty finicky when it comes to things like that. I tried the pass mark test on here. I couldn't even get it to run on Linux, and yet it was running flawlessly on Windows 11. Go figure. But anyway, there's your results for the same machine, a 2-core processor, a 4-core thread, little mini PC, and that is what you can expect on Linux Mint or on Windows 11. Now, I was actually shocked because I thought Linux Mint might come out on top in this one, and that's why I was recommending that mini PC for Linux based systems, because I thought it performed better. Now, I'm not saying that Linux is not a winner here, because it actually did feel much more snappier when I was actually using the actual operating system itself. And you know the worst thing? The people that make the most noise when it comes to Linux will probably not even watch this video and just disappear into the woodwork because they don't like being wrong and they love being right and making all this noise. But when it comes to proof that you show people, they just go quiet and disappear and they just don't watch it. We call that being humbled. And that's what it is, really. I don't care whether you use Linux or Windows. Choose your flavor and go with it. It's that simple. Now, one thing I will say is that the installation on that mini PC for Windows was about 160 plus processes running. Hardly any memory was left because it was being used up by Windows, what people always complain about. No services turned off, no debloat tools, all the bloat was still on there. Every bit of setting was still enabled on that system. And guess what? It still outperformed Linux Mint on the benchmark. So it goes to show you it might be feeling sluggish, but it's still performing better than Linux Mint. So what have we learned? We know that Linux Mint is quite snappy and responsive on the desktop, but when it comes to pure horsepower for benchmarking, Windows, with all its telemetry and processes running in the background and all that stuff, still outperformed it on the benchmarks. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. It's just a quick basic test today, but I just wanted to get this out to answer some people's questions that they had, and some people are just quite rude when it comes to trying to belittle Windows and make Linux sound so fantastic, when really the overall results were reversed, where Windows was the winner in this test. Let me know if you want to see more extensive testing. It needs to be like for like, because that way it's going to be fair. Like we've got Geekbench 6 and it works on both of the operating systems, so we know we can test it. I don't want to use one different software and another different one on Windows, because that wouldn't be fair. I tell you what shocked me is Windows outperforming Linux Mint on a low-end CPU like a 2-core 4-thread processor. That is impressive by Windows 11 beating Linux Mint. Anyway, with that said, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a quick shout out to my YouTube members. I do appreciate the support, and I shall catch you in the next video. Bye for now.